Good morning, Ray.
Good morning, Doug. The last few weeks we've been talking about different traditions and how families remember Christmas or celebrate Christmas or things that are meaningful. And you offered to share yours, and I'd like to hear it and share it with the family here.
So we had many of the traditional Christmas celebrations, wrapping presents, shopping at downtown Hudson's.
Oh.
And that was always very special, the store that is no longer there. And that was just one of the most remarkable stores anywhere in the country. And that was part of our tradition, going there and seeing Santa Claus up on whatever floor it was, and shopping in the for children's only shop where adults weren't permitted. And my dad would pile us all in the car, pick up my grandmother, his mother, and we drive downtown and go around Hudson's to look at all those fabulous windows that they used to have there. It was really extraordinary. And wrapping Christmas presents, that was always very special. We did that at the dining room table. My mom was a great shopper, and she was a very loyal Hudson shopper, as many Detroiters were, And baking cookies, one of the traditions that my mom had in her church circle at First Reformed Church was the traditional cookie exchange. And I really looked forward to that because she would come home with trays of cookies of all different varieties because the women all got together in her circle and exchanged. And of course, what kid doesn't love cookies and holiday treats? My grandfather was a baker by trade in the Netherlands. And so she always made fruitcake, which many people don't like, but I absolutely love, using her father's recipe. And I would remember, my sister and I would help her do that because the European way of making a recipe is measuring your ingredients by weight, not by volume. So in other words, a recipe would call for a pound of flour or a pound of sugar and things like that. So she'd have to get out the scale and weigh everything, a pound of eggs, whatever went into the recipe. So that was very interesting. I participated in the Christmas pageant back in the days when we really had a Christmas pageant in schools, which you don't do today, as well as pageants in church.
Sure.
And we spent every Christmas Eve at my grandmother's house here in the farms. I was born in Cottage Hospital, so I have spent literally every Christmas Eve of my life here in the farms, either at my grandmother's house or at her house and here at our church. And then we would go to my aunt and uncle's house on Christmas Day in the evening for another celebration. And my sister and I would sit at the kitchen table and count the number of days we had of vacation, Christmas vacation, and how many days did we have this year? Was it 10 days? Was it 12 days? Things like that. So it was extraordinary.
The children counting how many days off they have for the holidays is a tradition that continues.
Probably so.
Maybe a little bit different this year with the pandemic and that.
Exactly.
I think what you bring, and I appreciate that, thank you, is the nostalgia of Christmas and how meaningful that is in binding us together. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Sure, memories that we hold on
I hope people enjoyed hearing that, and I certainly did. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay.